Good evening and welcome to the news on Canal International. Of course, we're broadcasting as always from our base in Douala. First, our top stories with Kejang Henry Atembe.
Father demands justice for 5-year-old daughter found dead under suspicious circumstance. The dead body of the child was discovered in an uncompleted building in Douala. Meteorologists have sounded warning over rising temperatures in Douala, with projections that the city could face an unprecedented and excruciating heat waves in the months ahead. And South African President Cyril Ramaphosa appoints Cameroonian-born economist Vera Songwe to his country's prestigious Economic Advisory Council, Dr. Vera Songwe Ecosystems. The 6:15 news rolls on in a second with anchorman Ntarike Divine Ramsey Jr.
Thanks once again for your company and all our apologies for the little late start of this installment. Now, on August the 29th this year, 5-year-old Offie was found dead in under suspicious circumstances right here in Douala. In fact, her body was discovered in an unfinished building with obvious signs of abuse. Ever since, her parents and especially her father, Emile Gaston, have been demanding justice, but all seems not to be moving forward. In fact, no arrests have been made and the investigation appears to have stalled. D. Maureen reports.
In the quiet yards of his former home, Emile Gaston revisits the painful memories of his daughter's tragic death. Offie, just 5 years old, was discovered lifeless in an uncompleted building near their home in Bali, Douala, on August 29, 2024. Her father, still traumatized and bitter, questions why investigations into her death have stalled and why no suspects have been arrested.
The investigations are still ongoing. Our feeling is that things are not done quickly as we can see on other cases.
Would these have happened if it were the daughter of a governor or a high-ranking official? Gaston asked, his voice heavy with frustration. He points out that, despite the tragic circumstances, justice for Offie remains elusive almost 3 months later.
Our feeling is that our case is not taken into serious.
The uncompleted building where Offie's body was found remains a disturbing symbol of the unresolved case. Gaston walked us through the site, describing how Offie's remains were discovered underground in the structure. According to him, the child showed no visible signs of injury, but the autopsy revealed she had been sexually assaulted.
Yeah, autopsy result said our daughter have been raped, double raped, vaginal.
A woman from the neighborhood who was the first to find Offie's body recounted the harrowing discovery. She says she found her body floating on the ground and had to alert the neighborhood. They tried to rescue her in vain. But she recalls every detail of the scene vividly, including Offie's clothes and slippers, and joins the family in demanding justice.
Nous voulons la justice pour cet enfant.
Despite the severity of the case, the building has not been sealed off and the construction work continues as if nothing happens. This has raised serious concerns about the integrity of the investigation. 2 months after the incident, no arrests have been made and the person responsible for Offie's death is still at large. The lack of progress has forced Gaston to leave the neighborhood, but he continues to fight for answers. After burying his daughter on September 15, he remains steadfast in his demand for justice.
We just demanding justice for the honor of our daughter, for the peace of our soul.
And now 2 weeks after that devastating landslide at the Cliquez, otherwise referred to as La Falaise, Cameroon's West region remains in crisis. Key roads are still impassable, leaving passengers and drivers grappling with dangerous alternatives. Up next, Sherifa Saleh reports that with no clear solutions in sight, lives and livelihoods are at risk. Her report.
2 weeks have passed since the landslide at the Cliquez in the west region of Cameroon, but the aftermath continues to wreak havoc on transportation. Before, we could use maximum 4 hours to get to the west region, but now it has to be maximum 8 hours since the roads are bad and fairly used vehicles are not able to meander such roads. The blocked road has forced buses to reroute through secondary routes like those in Bafang and Batie, leading to longer travel times and greater strain on drivers and passengers alike. Transport agencies are struggling to cope with the disruption. Drivers complain that the alternative routes are not only tedious but also in deplorable condition, making the journey both physically and financially taxing. It is frustrating because we were not used to those secondary routes, because they are in very bad states too. Queues have become a common sight at bus stations, as not only vehicles can handle the poor state of the secondary roads. This has left many passengers stranded, further highlighting the urgent need for a solution. Psychologically, it's really tedious since those roads are just so bad. And as you can see, before embarking on the trip, I will make sure to take relieving pills along for my children. Residents and transport operators are calling on authorities to prioritize repairing the road at the Cliquez. Many hope that swift action will restore normalcy and ease the strain on the already burdened transport sector.
Meantime, the start of this weekend is promising to be a challenging one for travelers plying the National Road number 5. Earlier today, traffic came to a standstill at the toll gate in Banga in the Mungo division due to a vehicle breakdown. The result was a massive traffic jam with long queues of vehicles and frustrated drivers and passengers. In addition to the poor state of the road, travelers say it is horrendous. And now let's shift focus to the markets with a particular focus on the galloping prices of palm oil. Previously selling at about 600 francs CFA per liter, they have now galloped to more than 1,000 francs in most parts of the country. Cynthia Latte now says the impacts are being felt not only at the level of households, but also amongst vendors. Her report.
Despite being a staple product and readily available in markets across the economic capital, palm oil has become a luxury item. Its skyrocketing price has led to growing tension between vendors and consumers. We used to buy 20 liters of oil for 10,000 francs CFA, but now it costs 18,000 francs or 17,500 francs. We don't understand why prices keep increasing. At the Bonamoussadi market in Douala 5 subdivision, vendors report that the price of a liter of palm oil has risen steeply, now costing 1,000 francs CFA compared to 600 francs just months ago. So, I now prepare meals that don't require much oil like pepper soup, egusi pudding, and granite soup. The sharp increase has left many households with limited choices for preparing meals. Wholesalers attribute the soaring prices to reduced palm oil production despite the commodity being locally produced. It is extremely expensive. What surprises me is that production is done in the country, yet we cannot consume properly. Palm oil is now amongst other costly food items in the country, including fish and rice, amongst others.
And now climate experts are sounding the alarm over soaring temperatures across the littoral region and Douala in particular. Projections actually indicate the city could witness unprecedented heat waves in the coming months. The current heat, which is quite unusual for Douala, is obliging city dwellers to readjust their routines. Here's Sherifa Saleh once again.
We are in the month of November, yet the residents of Douala are grappling with scorching temperatures that are raising concerns about the months ahead. With an annual average temperature of 28 degrees Celsius, the city is already experiencing spikes beyond normal. I am putting on this cap to protect my head from sun rays. This umbrella, I bought it for the rainy season, but it is more of use now. When I don't have them, it affects my health to the point where I go to the hospital. Meteorologists predict the situation could worsen, with temperatures expected to soar to 37 degrees Celsius by February, potentially disrupting daily life and intensifying health risk. It is a period where people are exposed to many health issues, like diseases linked to the sites and respiratory diseases, with a high risk of pulmonary diseases. Citizens are already feeling the impacts. Many have turned to lightweight clothing and short wigs to stay cool. Meteorologists have called on the population to remain hydrated and wear breathable fabrics to reduce the risks of heat-related illnesses, which are becoming recurrent. I wished I could even walk around barefoot because the heat is just too much. I can't stand it. The unseasonal heat has sparked fears about how dry season, traditionally harsher in January and February, will unfold. Residents are decrying the harsh weather conditions and wondering how they will cope in the coming months. Experts have linked the intensifying heat to soil degradation and broader environmental challenges, which exacerbate the region's vulnerability to climate change.
If you're just joining us, this is the new 6:15 p.m. installment on Canal International. We're coming to you live from our studios at Douala. And now, in prelude to an upcoming youth entrepreneurship fair slated for Yaoundé on December 16th, stakeholders have been intensifying preparations. Earlier today, and under the auspices of the Minister for Youth Affairs and Civic Education, the stakeholders brainstormed on how to foster the import substitution policy. Here's Chia Hyson reporting from Yaoundé.
It is the second major preparatory meeting ahead of the International Fair for the Promotion of Youth Entrepreneurship. All stakeholders here to take stock as the big forum approaches in barely 3 weeks.
Today's meeting offers us a better opportunity to assess the progress made in the preparations. Allow me, therefore, to reassure you that in keeping with the recommendations of the first meeting, the committees are working hard. It is worth noting, however, that due to the discordant conflicts, the activity initially slated from the 3rd to the 9th December 2024 has been postponed to the 16th to the 21st December.
Presided over by the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monona Fotso, the exchange this November 22nd in Yaoundé was an occasion for different actors and partners to reiterate their commitment to make the Youth Connect initiative a success.
It's a platform for engagement of all the different stakeholders in the partnership. So while the UN is part of both the pilot phase and the second phase, this has to become a self-sustaining platform so that this truly becomes a platform that is inclusive of youth but inclusive of all parts of the society as well.
We have to accompany them in the different platforms, especially for CPROM, and we have more people who help the youth to have the best knowledge that they can have to manage the project and to perform in the different platforms that they need to emerge.
The 2024 edition plays under the theme Resilience and Competitiveness of Young Enterprises in the Era of Economic Globalization, has as objective to harness the capacities of young entrepreneurs to fast-track the import substitution policy. The participation of over 100 Cameroonian young people in the 2024 Youth Connect African Forum in Kigali, Rwanda, will be a huge asset to the upcoming forum, as they will be sharing the output with their peers at the explanade of the National Museum.
And Cameroonian economist Vera Songwe has been appointed to South Africa's Economic Advisory Council by President Cyril Ramaphosa. The council advises on key issues like economic policy, employability, and entrepreneurship. Songwe, a PhD holder in mathematical economics, has held top positions previously, including, amongst others, UN Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the Economic Commission for Africa. She's a globally recognized expert on macroeconomics, debt management, and financial inclusion, and has been among Forbes' top 50 African women. And let's stay on our economy page because Cameroon's Customs and Taxation Department say they have been breaking revenue collection records thanks to the implementation of advanced digital platforms. As Gladys Ambo now reports, the systems have made trade operations more efficient, more smooth, and more transparent.
Cameroon's economy is seeing a significant transformation with the introduction of e-goods, a digital platform streamlining foreign trade operations. In 2023 alone, the system helped customs and taxation departments raise over 8,000 billion francs CFA.
In 2023, the single window system generated 8,000 billion francs CFA in customs duties and 8 billion CFA francs in taxes. It offers a robust solution that ensures speed and cost efficiency across operations. At this informative seminar in Douala, November 21st, officials said the digital transformation has cut lead times for clearing goods dramatically. Clearing vehicles, for example, now takes 48 hours compared to 10 days previously. This improvement is due to the advanced technology which enables offline functionalities. e-goods third generation enables offline functionality, allowing users to work without a connection while maintaining synchronized data. It integrates artificial intelligence and business intelligence, providing foreign trade insights to support informed policy making. Supporting over 35 trade procedures and facilitating payments for at least 10 services, officials at the single window for foreign trade operations said the digital platform permits rapidity in import and export operations and reduces cost at all levels, but did not convincingly explain the security of operations with cyber criminality on the rise.
And now, activities to mark the 34th African Statistics Day were held in Bamenda Thursday with a focus on modernizing statistics to support education. On the sidelines of the commemoration, it emerged that the University of Bamenda is this academic year welcoming 11,000 students. Sherifa Saleh Anyi Collins.
Supporting education by modernizing the production of fit-for-purpose statistics. That is the theme for the 34th edition of the African Statistic Day commemorated in Bamenda on November 20, 2024. Organized by the Northwest Regional Agency of the National Institute of Statistics with the University of Bamenda, as case study, a lecturer revealed that the 13-year-old institution has registered 11,000 freshmen into its 6 faculties and 6 schools to add to the 21,000 of last year, while 4,000 will be churned out in December. Presiding, the representative of the governor underscored the importance of gathering statistical data for development.
The modernization ensures that statistical data is not only comprehensive but also tailored to specific educational outcomes.
Predominantly attended by focal points in public and para-public institutions, the new open data page for the Northwest region was presented.
The indicators available there can enable the user to monitor development policies, even at the local level, because those indicators are available for the subdivisions, the divisions, and for the region as a whole entity.
Focal points for statistics who drag their feet in submitting their periodic updates were told to sit up because such behaviors retard work planning and proper decision making.
Thanks once again for the privilege of your company. From all of us here in Douala, it is goodbye and have a hate-free weekend. Don't you go away if you have time, because up next is Matthew Fangwa and The Debrief. Bye-bye.